So the book I'm reviewing right now is by Timothy Leary. A lot of people wouldn't grasp right away that I'm a fan of Timothy Leary. It's called Start Your Own Religion. Now, this is not technically a book authored by Timothy Leary. It's a bunch of citations of his lectures and previous books and things of that nature. Essentially, what Leary does is he explains why everyone needs to start their own religion. Now, all religion starts with trying to put its followers in tune with objective reality. And I've gotten into this in past videos about universal truths and things like that. I'm not going to get back into that. But what Timothy Leary, I think he's right and wrong. Okay, and I'm going to tell you where he's right and where he's wrong and where John Harvey Kellogg is more right. Everybody remembers my video on John Harvey Kellogg and his religious idea, his pantheistic religious idea of biologic living, which I'm still waiting to receive. But Leary states that your body is a living temple, which is the same thing as Ellen G. White of the Seventh-day Adventists and Harvey Kellogg of biologic living, originally of the Seventh-day Adventists. But the thing is with Leary, he sees it from a psychological standpoint, and people know my view on psychology. I think most of it's jibber-jabber. But he's very concerned about the subjective reality, okay? But he wants you to turn into your body, and he thinks the way to do that is through the use of drugs. I don't. Now, what people don't understand about me, because I don't talk about it frequently in videos, during my childhood and my early adolescence and my young adulthood, I quit doing drugs and alcohol. Well, I've done alcohol off and on, but I quit doing alcohol for about the past 5 or 6 years. I haven't had a drink of anything that wasn't water or something of that nature. I've even given up caffeine for the most part, except for cocoa. That's the health benefits of cocoa. And the reason why was when I was in my early 20s, I was real big into, getting high for I don't want to say spiritual purposes, because I've never believed in the spiritual realm and all that nonsense. But to awaken myself to what I thought was a deeper state of understanding when I was younger, because I was real into Aleister Crowley. And I think a lot of Leary's ideas are parroted from Crowley and from Thelema. But I think that Anton LaVey and John Harvey Kellogg are more right in the sense that these mind-altering substances and stuff, these are what take you away from God. These are what take you away from God, God being objective reality. Leary thinks that God is your brain. I think that God is objective reality. I think that you can unite yourself with that, but not by taking drugs, but by dietary regulation, by breath regulation, by exercise, by cultivating your health according to the concepts of biologic living. And I think there needs to be a great deal of the humanities in there, because there's more to reality than what is understood through science, and that's what the humanities are for, and that's what the universal truths in religion are for, that are objectively observable. And I've gotten into that before, and I think that anything that takes you away from reality, whether it's mainstream religion, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, any of these things, anything that takes you away from objective reality is taking you away from God and is taking you away from your understanding of God and is what would be considered sinful. However, I don't think that there should be any attempt to stop that. I don't think that there should be any attempt to stop people from using drugs any more than, let me rephrase that. I think that education is what matters. I've made videos on my views on the legalization of all drugs and how they need to be regulated and taxed, and how the government needs to educate people into why not to use these things and to cultivate their health. So I think that you got two parts of authentic religion. The first part is putting one right with objective reality. Reality as reality is. That which is, even if you stop believing in it. Okay? And the other point of true religion is that which seeks to remove sickness from one's life. Okay? That which seeks to put one on the path of health. Now, I think Leary is right in a lot of his statements. I'm going to go over some of the things covered in this book. Let's see here. Boop-a-doop-boop-boo. Here we go. So, I mean, some of the things covered in the book are how to start your own. I'm sorry, I skipped ahead in the table of context here. Or contents, I should say. Maybe it is the table of context. Keeping everything in context. Okay, there's the preface, of course. He goes over what he believes monotheism is. He has a very negative view of monotheism. He goes over who owns the Jesus property, what born-again paganism is. He goes over the hippie movement and their experimentation with different forms of everything, Buddhism, Hinduism, what have you. Do-it-yourself religion, create a personal state, develop a personal mythology, religious discovery, drop out, turn on, tune in. We all know that one. How to turn on, learn to pray, psychedelic prayers. Turning on is sacred. Use a sacrament. A sacrament, he goes over, is an external thing that unites you to that which is holy. How to tune in, how to drop out, form your own cult, search for meaning, how to start your own religion, make your religion unique, develop your own rituals, money and work, sexuality, connect to mythic origins, go to the land, do it yourself, the kingdom of heaven, make your home a shrine, retain an attorney, get a declaratory judgment reality check. Ronan, okay, and then it goes over the different books sold by the company here. But my point is, and I plan on doing a lot more reviews of Mr. Leary's books. I have a feeling we're going to be experiencing some technical difficulties this winter. And by that I mean I don't think that come autumn and the winter, I don't think that we'll be freely able to move as much as we are currently because of the situation that I can't talk about, because my last video I made about it got taken down and I got a strike against me. But I plan on doing a lot more reviews of Timothy Leary's books and to talk about his philosophy. I just got one on his musings on human evolution. A lot of people don't understand that Leary, not only was he a psychologist, he was obsessed with the nervous system, how to make the nervous system work in certain ways. Now, beyond Anton LaVey and beyond John Harvey Kellogg, who are right at the carnality of reality and the carnality of spirituality, and why the carnal is the conduit for the spiritual, the carnal, the flesh, blood, and bone body is the direct bridge to the holy. That is the teachings of Anton LaVey, and that is the teachings of John Harvey Kellogg. Okay, so my point is beyond that, you have the teachings of Dr. Abraham Hoffer. You have the teachings of Ward Dean. You have the teachings of Dirk Pearson and Sandy Shaw in direct cardinal opposition to Timothy Leary, because they're talking about how to use nutrients to tune in to objective reality. And also Dr. Win Wenger. I did a review of his book, How to Increase Your Intelligence. Maybe I'll put that in the description. But my point is you have other people telling you how to use nutrients and nootropics to help you tune into reality even better, how to cultivate good health, okay? And these are all, in my opinion, these are all sacred writings. And as I said, the sacred is that which puts you on path to objective reality, and that which causes you to be as healthy as you can be, and to put you on track to and the way that it's looked at, like Ellen G. White and Dr. Kellogg, if you're whacked on caffeine, or you're whacked on stimulants, or you're whacked on illicit drugs, or you're whacked on alcohol, or you're whacked on marijuana, or you're whacked on heroin, or you're whacked on this, or you're whacked on that, you cannot have an understanding of God, or what I'm calling objective reality. The quote, Holy Spirit, which is an understanding of objective reality, cannot reside within you if you are whacked on whatever. And that's what I think is most important to understand is, do I like the book? Yes. Would I recommend the book? Absolutely. Do I think that what the book teaches is dangerous? No, I think what the book teaches is actually that which will liberate humanity. Do I think it has the potential to be dangerous when stupid people start experimenting with things they should not be experimenting with? Yes. However, I do think that he makes some good arguments about why it's not that big of a deal. And I think I've made similar arguments in my videos about why everything should be legal, regulated, and taxed. Okay, I'm going to leave a link to a couple of my playlists on Leary. A lot of the stuff is just I made 2 different playlists by mistake, actually, on Leary. Some of the videos are present in both. I think Leary was a genius. I think that unfortunately the conservatives unfortunately tried hard to repress him, tried hard to squash him. I think that he thinks beyond, or thought beyond, the pale. I like his writings on transhumanism. I will be learning more about his writings on transhumanism, and I will be sharing those on here and reviewing those books, which amount to musings on the topic of transhumanism. He was very much into virtual reality and using virtual reality to awaken the self. A very interesting dude. I highly recommend people learn all they can about Timothy Leary. My dad was a big fan of Timothy Leary, claimed to have met him, all that. Who knows? I do know that Leary was handing out acid for many years in the 60s when my dad was a young adult. Early 60s when my dad was a young adult. So who knows, man? I mean, that's the whole thing. But I do think that people should read this book and should read all of Leary's books. Learn what you can about his philosophy. It's not going to hurt you to expand your breadth and depth of knowledge, even if you agree or disagree. Like I said, I don't agree. This is the thing. I think one of the problems people have in this day and age is they only read things they agree with. They don't ever read things they disagree with to expand the breadth and depth of knowledge or to think more deeply about subjects. I was guilty of that to an extent with communism. I kind of purposely had a bias, and I made myself have a bias, and as people know, I no longer have that bias. I support a lot of the concepts of Soviet communism, and I think Soviet communism in many ways is superior to traditional third positionism, if for no other reason the fact that it actually exists to this day, and that by infusing communistic symbolism into third positionism can rise again without the cultural taboo, the taboo connected to the symbols of third positionism. We can use the hammer and sickle. We can use things like that. We can't use the fasci. We can't use the swastika. We can use the hammer and sickle. We can be proud to use the hammer and sickle. Nobody's going to say anything about the hammer and sickle, but they will say a lot about the swastika or the fasci. And that's all for this video. Remember, start your own religion.